I saw this film yesterday, Nicholas, and when you were in this Dracula bag, when you do these vampire movies, I love it because your facial expressions, brother, are so funny, are so intense. And the director, Robert, did some close-up on your face in this movie, and like, you embody scariness so well.
Thank you.
You both have connections to Dracula. Tell me, you got to break down to me, how was this a full circle moment for both you guys doing this movie?
Full circle. I don't know. You go first.
Well, I mean, I've always loved the Dracula, Nosferatu kind of myth since I was a kid, and my brother and I used to watch a lot of Dracula, like old classic Dracula movies as kids, and so when I got the opportunity to audition for this movie, I thought, like, you know, kind of, yeah, what a full circle moment, what a cool thing, and, you know, perhaps I'll you know, get some cool points with my little brother if I get this part, and so yeah, I also just thought, you know, what a perfect pairing, this story and Robert Eggers. I felt like, you know, his filmmaking world and this myth were kind of a match made in heaven, so I was really excited.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I interviewed Robert and William just next door,
right.
And I was talking to him. He even said too as well, this is a love story. At the forefront, this is a love story. So tell me, how did you guys nail that that part of the storyline in this movie?
Yeah, it's kind of a tragic love triangle, I suppose, in many ways, and I think that's kind of the tragedy between our two characters, is this element of my character can't understand what Ellen is experiencing and going through, and he's kind of ill-equipped emotionally to deal with that, and kind of thinks that, you know, more money in a bigger house will solve their issues, and then learns too late that that's not the case, and loses her and everything that he cares about. So it is kind of a beautiful fairy tale love triangle at its core.
Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I feel totally different. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what, you know, makes this movie so special, is that I think it's easy to see it as like a horror movie, but it's actually so much more than that. You know, it's really, there really is like a tragic love story at you know, at its core, because I think, you know, like Nick was saying, I think that, you know, I think that Thomas really does love Ellen. I think Ellen really does love Thomas, and yet she feels this kind of yearning for this darker realm, which I think is, you know, really a mirror to just the darkness within her, that I think she has a hard time coming to terms with because of the society that she's living in. And I think they're both victims of that society in a way, because I think, you know, as much as he wants to be there for her and love her in the right way, I think he doesn't really have the tools to do that, even though he might like to. So yeah, it's kind of a tragic love story in that way.
Tragic love story, well put. But you guys, when I walked in, you guys were laughing, having a good time. I know you guys must be friends. So what was that like on set with the intimacy coordinator? Did you guys have the intimacy coordinator on set?
Yeah, I mean, that's just like a standard that should be on all sets. So yeah, of course. But I think, you know, when you're working with a filmmaker like Rob, he has such a clear vision in his head, and he knows kind of exactly where he's taking you, and it's almost like he kind of has the movie in his head already. And so for us, I think as actors, it's kind of a gift, because it, you know, brings you to this really simple place where you're not having to think so much and like ask yourself so many questions, because there's a beautiful structure there that's already laid out for you, and so you kind of just melt into it.
Yeah, and I read in an article just recently, you said that you thought some of the scenes you had to, like the possession scenes, that you had to maybe freak out, you didn't know, but it was actually choreographed, the scenes, right?
Yes, so yeah, I think going into it, I think I you know, I didn't really know quite what to expect, of course, because I hadn't, you know, this is very different from anything I've ever done, and so I think, you know, when I auditioned, I kind of just like improvised and kind of just went nuts, and so I thought perhaps it'll be like that when we're on set.
That's what he said. That's what Robert said too.
Yeah,
the audition. He's
right. I kind of just went a little wild, but then yeah, we worked with an amazing movement coach who was incredibly helpful, and just helped us, you know, not only choreograph those movements, but also just root them in a kind of very truthful emotion. So yeah.
Oh man, you did such a great job. There was parts in the movie where I was even going like this. Whoa, like when you were banding your eyes, I looked over to the right, this girl, she was in her gothic outfit. She too was like, I love this. Like, it was, the crowd afterwards, we walked out, it was such a good, diverse crowd too. People loved it. You had said before, people are ready to see me fail. You said that, and I'm like, Lily, you did in this performance. You absolutely delivered.
Thank you.
Is that like a pressure you feel like people are trying to?
I mean, I think, you know, like any of those kind of like quotes, you know, you say something conversationally, and then it like gets kind of blown up in this way. I don't think I meant it as like such a kind of massive mic drop kind of thing, but I think, you know, like anything, when you are a part of an industry that, you know, that your other family members are a part of as well, I think there's, you know, perhaps like a an attention there or like an expectation that that wouldn't necessarily always be there. And so I think but that's never, I've never minded that. I'm like a hard worker, and that's what I'm that's what I'm here to do. So it's all good.
Haters will be haters, girl. Nicholas, the outfits, the wardrobes, I love that. Is that helping you get more into the character when you put on like some of the outfits of these period pieces?
Yeah, Linda, our costume designer, is fantastic in terms of creating the authenticity of each of those. But also, more than that, there's also this element of how, obviously for our characters, the social status they're at is a huge part of their story and why they do the things they do. So even looking at the detail in that, where Linda would be like, okay, so you have what appears to me nowadays like a very nice pair of trousers, but she'd be like, oh no, these trousers are not as nice as Aaron's trousers. He's got this fabric, and like the little things like that where you go, oh, okay, I understand how these fit into the world and tell our character story as well on top of everything else.
I love that. They give me only 2 more minutes left. This movie's coming out for Christmas, right? What sort of Christmas traditions you guys just can't live without?
Christmas tradition? I mean, I feel like Christmas time is my favorite time to like do nothing and like hang out.
Watch movies.
Watch movies,
yeah. Eat and watch movies.
Exactly. I feel like that's can't get better than that.
I had my first mince pie of the season the other day.
Really?
Yeah,
which one was
lovely.
Mince pie. You know mince pies?
It's very English of you.
Yeah, I had my first one of the season.
What'd you think about it? What'd you think?
Oh, I love them. I have them every year. It was just the first of this year.
I started
Many more
listening
to
to
come.
Christmas music yesterday, actually.
Did you?
It was the first
What was
day
the first song?
Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Frank Sinatra.
Absolute banger.
Yeah. It's kind of a deep cut. I love the oldies when it comes to Christmas music.
We were listening to Last Christmas, George Michael.
Oh.
Michael, classic. I gotta go. They wrap me up.
Okay.
We actually love the reunion that you had with Hugh. We love that. What is the best piece of advice that he gave you when you were 13 years old on that set?
I don't think Hugh gave me any advice. I think if he was here, he would admit to the fact that he gave me no advice. But just watching him, he's such a funny, charming man, and also like really cares about what he does, and also looking after people, even though he pretends not to. So he was great. He was a great example for me. Yeah.